You know, sometimes you can really use a pivot table. If you don't know what that is, I show you right now. A pivot table is a really nice way to make quick reports. It's not only nice, it's actually really, really powerful. Some people do it, you know, all the time. I do it when I need it, and when I need it, I love it. I show you what to do. For example, in your report, you want an overview sum of all servers combined with hardware costs. You know, we had that before. We do that with a SUMIF. We can do everything with a formula, but sometimes the pivot table is just the best thing. So I select the whole thing here, including the headings. Now I add a pivot table. This is really different in every Excel version. In most versions it's somewhere here, like include or something, and then pivot table. Here in my version it's under data and pivot table. Please Google it if you have to, your Excel version plus insert pivot table, but it's not really a problem. So import pivot table, then it asks me which range to take. I already selected it, and then do it into a new worksheet. Standard values, only hit OK. So now it made a new sheet, as you see, and this is so cool. I can now just drag things here as rows and columns, and then look what happens. In my version this is black and gray, in most versions this is white, but it makes no difference for the functionality. For example, I want the type here as rows. You see it automatically saw racks and servers, and then I want to have the hardware cost here, and it makes here sum of hardware cost automatically. In most Excel versions it's not sum, it's the count of hardware cost. Then you please have to change it. You do here the right click, and then here sum, count, average, whatever. Okay, really important. In your Excel version most likely you have count as standard, but I have sum as standard. Count is the number of lines actually. You see, 74 servers, 78 racks. But I don't want to know how often the hardware costs as a field is there. Of course, I want to have the sum. I want to see the sum of it. You know these numbers already from the other lectures. Here this is 8 million, whatever, and 7 million. And here something interesting, blank. So that's one where neither rack nor server is in this column. You see here, blank. So you can use pivot tables also very easily to find errors, because it's not allowed to have a blank here. The type is required. I call that quality assurance pivots when I use that. So with a pivot we found very easily with a table that we have values with blank. It's interesting. And I can even, that's really cool, you know, that this was 47 or whatever lines, now condensed to one line. I can double click on the value, and Excel does automatically create a table with the underlying data. This is so cool. So I make the pivot table how I want to see it, and then I can double click it, and I see, for example, here this line where the error was. What you also have to know is when you update the underlying data, for example, I make the subtype server, it's not directly in the pivot table. I have to update the pivot table. For example, right click and refresh data. Oh, didn't work. Let me go back. I didn't type it here in type. I did type it in subtype. So please let me move that from here to here, server. Now I go back to the pivot table. I refresh it, and so you see automatically condensed. Really cool. Let me undo that because I want to save that for you in the original state so you can see it. You can do like anything with these pivot tables. You just have to play with them. You just have to try it. For example, I can do the system ID here as a second value. Looks completely different. Now I have every system ID on its own. Or you can say I want to group them by, I don't know, for example, if this value2 was a year, it would make sense to have it as a column. Now it's a bit too big. It's not looking nice anymore, but imagine you have only 2014, 2015, whatever. It's really nice. It would make a really nice table. Or you can say I do this as a filter because I know the system IDs and I select only a couple of them, and then you know here it's only a part of the whole thing. So pivot tables, start playing with it. Please try it. It's so nice. You will absolutely love it.